They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho,
they're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hi, everyone.
Plastic smile. Hi, everyone. It's me and James, Seth and James. And
we have Wi-Fi today.
Yeah. This one went out to the local Optimum store.
Yes. It turns out we had remember there were storms a few weeks ago on the East Coast? Well, it turns out it must have affected our modem. And shockingly, this one actually kind of came up with that idea that maybe that was the problem. No?
Paul Castro actually said it to me, and then I repeated it to you.
Wait a minute. You were taking credit for it?
Well, the fact that you were ignoring me.
This is the first time I've heard that Paul Castro is the one who said that. Wouldn't it be better that
I'm admitting it in public?
I guess
anyway,
so.
The storm affected it.
Though.
The storm affected it. This one went out. He got a new something.
Yeah.
And now we have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. If you'd seen the 5 minutes before last night's show, or I should say the 15 minutes, when you do a speed test, and it was like you're supposed to be at like, I don't know, David would say like 10. I don't even know what that means. Megabytes, gigabytes, megahertz. I don't know.
In terms of how fast
as far how fast, and it's supposed to be like at 30 or 40, and it was like at 1.
Yeah, it was devastating.
Which means you can't do it. And so we went from here to the kitchen, tried everything, and
this is rude.
Basically, none of it worked.
Nancy?
Seth doesn't know what a modem is.
By the way, she's right, but it's just there's a lot of acknowledging that personal.
Well.
Anyway, the point is, here we are. So Stars in the House, we're raising money for the Actors Fund, which we've been doing since March. The Actors Fund is for everyone, and tonight's one of those nights where we're going to prove that
how true that is.
Yeah, because there's not just actors that are out of work. Every single person that works in some aspect of the arts contributes to that art form, and most of them are out of work. And we want to show you all the different various aspects.
Well, and it's not even all. There's actually so many. This is like a handful.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. All different people work in the arts and all different things. So we just picked a smattering. And we want to keep doing this to show.
Yeah, it's fun. What makes a show with Seth's title for, which I think is a great title.
Yeah, but it should also be like what makes a film. Anyway, but this is Broadway related tonight.
Well, a show could be a film or a theater show, or
can it?
Yes, a show.
The point is,
we are here for the Actors Fund,
and this, by the way, is true. This one over here went and got a modem.
Very careful how they talk about each other. That's right.
Anywho,
we are up to, by the way, money raised for the Actors Fund.
Yeah.
$452,340. Yeah.
How do people donate?
They donate by going to starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512.
For you millennials.
That's right, and you'll get a receipt from the Actors Fund donation, and then you can forward it to donations@starsinthehouse.com.
But my sister wants you to know, don't forward it to where you used to forward it. It's the new address, and by new, 6 weeks old. But it's donations@starsinthehouse.com, forwarded there, and not just a screenshot. People keep thinking a screenshot works, but the screenshot cuts off the vital information. So forward the full receipt. Donations@starsinthehouse.com.
So here we have a comment. This word.
Anywho,
okay. As much as I love our new theme song,
I do it live. Every time the theme song is playing, I do it live for James. Let's Seth and James bring all the stars to you. Anywho, anybody? Silence. Anyway, or should I say anywho? Let's start the damn show. So we have people that work in all different aspects of the beeswax.
That's right. And wait a minute though. And Dr. LaPook, this may be a little bit of a shorter show than usual because Dr. LaPook is in Maine. If you saw the show last night, he was like doing it.
Remember, I just cut off the Wi-Fi.
We've been watching Scandal, and so it's like The Hole. It almost looked like he was in The Hole, but by God, he joined us. But tonight, he's out with his lovely wife.
We have a listener.
So he's not going to be joining us.
We have a listener from the 1920s. No, not that. That was very sweet. Hold on.
Okay.
You guys are the bee's knees.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Amanda.
What is it? Zowie. Thanks, Amanda. Okay, the final thing is tomorrow night's show. We have Laura Bell Bundy and Shoshana Bean for A Taste of Beltresses.
Great.
That's what? That's Friday?
Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah.
Friday we have Shayna Taub, who's writing the new Devil Wears Prada musical. And then Saturday
and the Constitution song, which is a whole other part that we're going to talk about.
And then Saturday we have a reunion of the whole original cast of Next to Normal.
Yes. And there's a matching donation that night. So.
Yes. So you better, but don't save it. I mean, start donating now, and then
That's
you can
right.
donate again Saturday.
Show the love for the people behind the scenes.
And when you do, we'll read it out loud, or Jorge will play it on the violin. All right. So here are all the people that help make a show. So
and we're gonna have, by the way, one more person who's gonna be joining us.
Yeah,
He's joining us a little bit late.
So first he is an usher. We have Mr. Joe Pittman. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Seth. Hi, James.
Hi, Joe.
Wait, what? Oh, I see what's in your arm. We'll discuss that in just a moment. Yes.
I wonder what show you worked on.
Exactly. Then we have a
Many, but yeah.
But that was, I know, I remember, I've seen you in so many shows. Then we have a house manager, recently from the Nederlander, but many shows before that, the fabulous David Calhoun. Don't even know what a house manager does. We'll discuss it
We'll find
soon.
out. Hi, David.
Hi, Seth. Hi, James.
Hi, David. Then we have a general manager associate, right, Stephen? We have a general manager associate, and I 100% don't know what they do, but it's a good pal of ours. Exactly. The fabulous Stephen Spadaro.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, everyone.
We have an old friend of mine who's an amazing violin player. He's played in 1 million orchestras, and unfortunately, he was my violin teacher, and he's banned me from ever playing again. But he's wonderful, Mr. Jorge Avila.
Woo-hoo! Who are you calling old?
Well, we've been knowing each other a long time, dear. Okay, so all you clowns, you all quote unquote make a show work. So I guess let's start with, Joe, you have the most obvious job.
Yeah,
so talk about.
Exactly.
We know what an usher is, but there's so many things that we don't really know about being an usher. So, like, what is the stuff that we don't know?
Well, there's two factions to it. There's at the main door, there's ticket taking, which is really what I am. But I've certainly done my share of ushering over the years. I've done 30 years of Broadway. You know, you've got to be there an hour before curtain. You got to get your assignment, what aisle you're on. Find out if there are cast changes and inserts that you have to put in your playbill.
You're in charge of putting in the inserts?
The ushers are in charge of, yes.
How many playbills do you stuff? Like, how many are you?
Depends what aisle you're assigned to. Like, if you're working center orchestra at a big house, you're probably stuffing 8 stacks of books, which is 150 playbills.
Oh my God!
And that's one person, but it's a 2-person aisle, so you're actually doing 300 playbills.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things where you want to be central aisle because it's the cool aisle, but then you're devastated because it means you also have to stuff.
Yeah, like when I was up at the Broadway Theater during Kong and Saigon and Fiddler, you know, the center orc was busy, so you wanted to be in the rear mezzanine J to R, which was just like 3 stacks of books.
Oh, no one's sitting up there.
No, that's the section. Like, you only needed 75 books.
It's so specific.
Joe, were you what show were you working on when Broadway shut down?
The Minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, with Jesse Mueller.
Yeah, the Tracy Letts with a great cast. We were 4 days away from opening night.
So what's it like for you? Well, what was it like leading up to Broadway shutting down?
Yeah.
Like, were you like, we're going to shut down? Or were you an optimist? And you're like, we're going to make it.
No, because there were too many rumors and rumblings. And, you know, they said we're going to be shutting down for like 2 weeks and we'll be back April 15th or something like that. And then it was June 6th, and then it was September, and now it's January, and now it's 2025.
But Joe,
nobody knows.
You must have been relieved though, because those couple of weeks right before Broadway shut down had to have been nerve-wracking.
Well, it was. I mean, you know, I worked for the Schuberts, and they had, you know, they were doing what they could with little information that we all had. You know,
Right.
there were all sorts of hand sanitizers installed in the and throughout the house. And, you know, I'm scanning tickets there at the front door, and every once in a while, in a lull, I'd run over to the hand sanitizer, you know, because paranoia was beginning to build.
Right. We didn't know about aerosols at that point.
No, I mean, nobody knew anything. You know, but I mean, they did their best to like protect us and keep us informed and say, you know, but then, you know, we did our show. We had a double show day on March 11th, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, the final show to play I think was March 12th, the Thursday matinee of Phantom.
All right, because
They do Thursday matinees.
Thursday night. By the way, you're famous. Barry commented, I think we met Joe when we saw King Kong. He talked to us about the show down by the stage after the show, right before it closed.
Aww.
So great.
Oh, I love interacting with the customers. I mean, that's one of the best parts of front of house. You know, we're there to make sure everyone has a good time.
I mean, just to show the difficulty in ushering, off Broadway, at least back in the day, you could get free tickets if you ushered a show. So I signed up to usher Forbidden Broadway, and literally within 5 minutes, I was getting a stern reprimand about the attitude I had, and the customers were complaining. 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's a lot different now. We have to be on our best behavior.
No, it was different. It was the same back then. I was a horrible usher. I was rude. I thought I was sassy.
What gosh, I wish I could go back in time. When I first moved to New York, I did a lot of ushering off Broadway, and I never got complaints.
I lasted 5 minutes.
Jeez.
All right. So
one of my favorite things was when I first started, and I started in April of 1990. And this woman came to me, and she looked at me. She says, I thought ushers were all old ladies. Like, you know, the business was changing, you know, like, you know, they were actually hiring kids, younger actors, students, and this and that. Like my first theater that I ever worked, David, you'll know this theater, the Marriott Marquis.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, David, that's a good segue to you, because I met you when we were doing Disaster at the Nederlander, and you're the house manager there.
That was my second. I came during.
Hold on. 1 second. James predicted this.
What?
Where are the women? Listen, guys, it just is arbitrary to turn out that way. There were 3 women I asked. I couldn't do it. It just is what it is. It's one show out of, we're up to almost 200 shows. This particular one, I literally asked some women who weren't available, and James was like, we have to ask a woman. And I said, I have asked, and it's 5 o'clock already. Like, no one's going to care. Where are the women?
I told you, Seth.
Have you seen the last 200 shows? Like, are we really going to
I'm having Diet Coke out of a Joan Collins mug. Does that help?
I mean, come on, man. Like, what do you? It just worked out that way. I don't want to see the women that couldn't do it, but I asked a lot of them, and they just weren't available.
That's kind of how.
And then we thought, like, well, this is a nice size. It's an hour show, so everyone will get around 15 minutes. But believe me, we're going to be having a lot more people on talking about this. I'm sure we'll have at least a woman. Okay, continue.
Well, okay. Deborah says, okay, you're forgiven.
Yay. I don't want to everybody, but let's just say, Stephen, your friend Beverly was not available. All right, keep going.
David Calhoun, go ahead. So
that was my second show. I started during the end of near the end of Amazing Grace. I was at Lion King before that, and then forever I seemed to be at the Marquee for like 20 some odd years. And before that, I was a company manager.
You were a company manager.
Company manager, yeah. And actually, our paths never crossed. But you, I think, maybe were the rehearsal pianist or sub pianist on Grease. I did the John Cicada run.
David, I was a little bit more than that, dear. I was the associate conductor, but I.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we'll
all right. So I did payroll, and I just whatever they gave me, I just did it.
You know what I remember? Wait, the John Cicada time act. Maybe I hadn't taken over by then. Maybe I was just a sub. So
that's very impressive then, that David.
But David, amazing memory. But hold on, it is one of those terms like best boy and gapper. What is a house manager? I don't really know what your job description is.
We're babysitters. Babysitters for the actors, for everybody backstage, everybody, the customers. Making sure that the air conditioning works, making sure that it's clean, making sure that, it's a lot of stuff.
It's such a headache.
Huh?
It's
sometimes a headache. But usually it's a fun job. It's a really fun job because you get to, during the daytime, you get to, deal with rehearsals and stuff like that. And you have to make sure you have toilet paper, making sure that it's nice and warm, making, the winter, making sure that it's cool, in the summertime.
But you keep everyone safe too.
Yeah. We have
fire.
We have to
do
fire, and we are called. They changed the name. It's fire safety guards, and then there is.
It's really important to know.
We have a fire. We're not fire marshals, but there's another license that we have to have. So we have to go and take tests with the city to get little licenses that says we can save people's lives.
You're like Mrs. Garrett from The Facts of Life. You're just sort of like in
yes.
charge of all these people and the building.
And we have little Blairs running around. We have little Tooties running around. And Joes. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's it's like keeping everybody, you're involved in every department, which is fun. When we have musicians. We were 4 performances in when we closed with the Lehman trilogy, which was amazing. I'm sorry that people aren't going to get a chance to see it, for a while. But
did you know what was going on? Were you like one of the people getting the info that we're probably going to close?
Well, the company manager kept saying, I think they're going to shut us down. And I kept going, nah. I'm always glass half full. And I said, no, we're going to go. Maybe Sunday, and I was wrong. We got the call on Thursday afternoon saying, that's it. But actually the box office was open through Saturday for us because we were Monday to Saturday in previews. And I did my last payroll there, went in the following week, did the settlement, took my laptop home, and then we did the payrolls remotely.
Wow.
Man. I want to talk to everybody post-closing once we go through this.
But hold on, we're going to bring on before
we have our casting person.
We have
Xavier.
Xavier
Rubiano.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I'm
sorry for being late.
Where do you go by Xavier?
Xavier if we're speaking Spanish, but Xavier since we're speaking English.
Because my friend's son, Mike's son, is Xavier.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so Xavier, are you a casting director? Like, I know that you work at a casting office. What's your actual job?
Depends on the project, but I am technically a casting associate at Tara Rubin Casting, an associate through CSA. But there are some projects where I am a casting.
Oh, and freeze frame.
Did I freeze? Sorry. Yeah, so some projects I'm a casting director on, some projects I am an associate.
So what does a casting director do? Because they don't have the 100% best reputation, because a lot of times they're sort of seen as like gatekeepers keeping people out. But Tara Rubin has like the best reputation.
Absolutely.
So you have like the one office that's like completely beloved. So like what's the attitude there or your credo to actors?
Our credo is like to be as respectful of the process and of the actors coming in as much as possible. It is such a vulnerable step of the process, auditioning, and so we want to create a safe and environment anytime somebody comes in, because it's just so the nerves and the anxiety of just auditioning is so intense that we try and really nurture the open-heartedness that everyone comes in with. And so we try and create a really safe environment every time we come in, always with a smile and always with kindness in our hearts every time we have an audition.
I totally back that up. That is totally Tara Rubin.
It's the reason why we had Tara Rubin for Casting for Disaster.
Yes, and you've done a lot. By the way, here is the lovely Tara Rubin. This is you. This is one of the shows you cast, Fans Visit. I love that picture.
Oh, great.
Adorable. So,
yeah, that was the night that the Band's Visit won the Tony. That was our after party where we're just so excited. One of my favorite shows to work on. I was an assistant at the time, and it's just like one of the most beautiful pieces of musical theater that ever was written, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People talk about musical theater being so collaborative, and it really is, like, meaning like everyone kind of has a part of it. Like, do you know anybody that your office goes, oh my God, we found that person, like we figured that person out to give them that amazing job? Is there some famous actor that you guys talk about?
I mean, in every single project, there seems to be always that one actor that we're always rooting for, and that not everyone is quite there yet. And so we keep bringing them in time and time again because we believe in them so much. And so it really is like there's always that one that we are always rooting for, and then we just are waiting for their big break.
Yeah, like Tara Rubin brought us Casey Garvin, who we didn't know. We cast him in Disaster. We loved him, and also Catherine Rickefer, we didn't know. That's right. So in terms of, because I know you have to go early, so I want to just kind of ask you everything. So what was it like for you in your office? Like when Broadway shut down, did everyone go home that day, or was Tara like, oh, whatever, we're gonna keep working in our office for a while and see what happens?
Well, that morning was pretty intense. That was the day of what was supposed to be the opening of Six. So all of us at the office brought our garment bags and we had our suits ready to go. But at the same time, we were still like, are we like, what is like, I think we need to cancel all of our auditions. So we all came in that morning and we were just like, I think, let's just cancel everything for the weekend and see what happens. And so we were all just like waiting around, canceling things. And at around like 12 o'clock, we got the word that at 5, everything was shutting down. So we ordered pizza. And then at like 4 o'clock, Tara was like, I think we all need to go grocery shopping and stock up for a little bit. So we left. And one of the pictures that I think you guys have is of us, the whole office on our last day, on our way home that afternoon. So yeah, that was pretty much the day. Like, just like, should we cancel everything? Yeah, go ahead and cancel everything. And
is that it? Everyone looks depressed.
And oh yeah, that's the one. That was March 12th at 4 p.m.
Oh my gosh. So then what did you think? I mean, were you still kind of casting even though you were at home? Because I'm sure people assumed Broadway was going to keep happening. Replacements had to be found.
Yeah, for a while we were still like casting things remotely. We even up until like July, some people in the office were working on a lot of stuff. But as things kept being pushed back, everything started to be canceled or postponed. And so it wasn't until like July that we were like, okay, I think we just need to take a break and wait for Broadway to reopen and come back.
And then the question I'm going to be asking everybody, and like I said, I know you have to leave early, is so what do you do? Like, how are you making any money? Like, what are you doing now without really any work happening? How are you surviving?
I am watching so much television. It is actually insane how much like TV I'm getting through, which is great for my job because I need to know who actors are. So it's just like I've been watching The Americans, I May Destroy You, like I like all of the television that I could possibly consume is really how I'm using this time, just to know more people that I wouldn't normally know in musical auditions and things like that.
And then, like, does Tara have anything planned for the future, or it's just sort of like week by week, we'll see what happens?
It is a week by week, month by month, seeing where things land. But yeah, it's pretty crazy right now for casting. I think like television and film just started productions, and so that's been ramping up. But theater-wise, it is. I'm ready. I need to come back. I need to go back to work.
And I guess
ready for everything
to come back. You know, I know you cast Evan Hansen, and here's some of that. That's like my biggest like nerve-wrackingness because, you know, all of us that are like kind of over 30, like we could play the same role for the next 7 years, but the kids that are in Evan Hansen, the kids that are in Mrs. Doubtfire, it's like, what the hell's going to happen if like they age out a year? Like, are all these young people having a breakdown? I mean, I still look 29, but I feel like anyway, continue.
No, I don't know what the plans are for that, but I would hope that everyone is able to return at least for a little bit, so that they could finish out whatever contract they had left. I would imagine that they would want to do that, but I can also see a world where they're like, all right, let's start fresh, let's find new people.
You would like
so,
to
I'm just imagining the second that Broadway comes back.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say I would think that the audiences would be forgiving even if the kids suddenly were 3 or 4 inches taller. You know, even if it's permanent. I vote for the idea of having them finish out.
I would imagine.
Oh God.
I imagine that everyone that finished will come back and hopefully they would be open to that. But I know, like, I can't say things, but a couple of people from our shows have jobs that were supposed to happen and lined up. So I'm curious to see how, when we get back, how to navigate all of that. I was just saying that I imagine that when we get back, when Broadway comes back, that Pearl Studios is going to be busy with EPAs and ECCs, and it's going to hit us hard. And we're going to be in audition rooms from 10 to 6 for the first couple of weeks every single day, because it's going to be intense.
And everyone's going to have gained 40 pounds. It's going to be a nightmare. All right. Well, Xavier, great seeing you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Tara, for recommending. Peace out.
Thank you, guys. I'm with my family.
No.
Yes, we're going to have to go to your family. Go say hi to your mom.
Right.
All right.
Very sweet.
Very nice.
Okay, now we're going around the circle. Steven Spadaro, again, I don't know what you do.
I thought this was game night. Where's Andrea Martin?
We have game nights for Steven. Totally. It's hilarious.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, like, I often describe my job as I'm a paper monkey. We in the general management office run the day-to-day activities of the production, and we interact with the casting office when necessary, the music departments, all the departments of a production run through the general management office. So,
But I'm sorry. I feel like your hours are like 10 to 10, because it's not like your day ends.
Can be.
Well, what are you doing? Why don't you pass it all off to David at night? Like, why the hell are you doing anything past 5 o'clock?
Listen, I want to say David Calhoun is an excellent house manager, and it's got to be the hardest job in my opinion, in the theater, because you have to deal with the public, and that is often impossible.
I know nothing about that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Steven, what shows have you worked on for people that are watching?
Me or
Steven.
Oh, Steve.
It's my turn, David?
Yes.
Right. My first show was Cats. I went on tour with Cats for a couple of years, and then I did the Broadway production. And then when Nina Lannon opened a general management office, and we were working on the show Cape Man at the time. And when that closed, as you do in this business, you go on to the next show. And then I landed at Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk.
Yes.
At the Ambassador Theater, which is where Chicago is. I've been on Chicago for about 21 years.
Oh my God. You got a long-running show, girl. It's everyone's dream. Yeah. And by the way, people don't know. So this is me and Steven's husband, Paul. We've known each other for a long time. That's us on a cruise. But the most important thing about Steven is that he, when I can't handle her, he hangs out with my mother. Thank you, Steven. I'm always like, you handle her. He's like, I got her.
And that could very well have been at the Niederlander, and David Calhoun helped your mom to that seat. So
Steven knows how to deal with divas. All right, now Jorge Avila.
Hello. How are you, Seth?
Hi. We're talking about the Broadway aspect, but I know you are also a classical musician. So what was going on with you when the shutdown happened? Where were you?
Oh my God. Well, I was actually in my living room watching TV. And I knew, the writing had been on the wall, and long story, I was very, very aware that something bad was happening, that we just didn't know what it was, how bad it was going to be, etc. And friends from the Met Opera, basically from the organizational end of the Met Opera, which was, I think, the first group to officially canceled everything through the end of the month. I remember they were the first ones to post that they were not having a show the 12th at night. And immediately after that, I think all of Lincoln Center went, and Broadway was the last, but it all happened within half hour between 11:30 and noon. I was just at home, Seth, minding my own business. I was going to practice, and I had a rehearsal later that day and a run-through concert, which I actually did for a very small group of people up in the Bronx for the Bronx Arts Ensemble.
That was post-shutdown?
It was on the 12th, on the day of the shutdown. It was like an open dress kind of situation where people could come and watch the concert. And so there were about 10, 15 people there, and they're all socially distant. At the time, we were being told not to wear masks. You remember?
Right.
So it was. I'm amazed any of us are still here, and kicking. And so, even though I was 12 5 months ago, I'm 29 now, just like Seth. I mean, I'm feeling fortunate,
No, I know we lucked out being on subways and buses. But so now, I mean, really the question is, what do you do waiting for another gig? Because, I mean, actors can do voiceovers, but what does a violinist do? What are you doing?
Well, I can do recordings, which is what I'm doing. So composers and producers, everybody, I'm here. I have a violin. I'm ready to go. You asked Xavier, and he didn't answer. Did you notice how he got out of the, how you make money,
Right, actually, right. He didn't give me an answer to that. You're right. I think he most of the time had
it's those young ones you've got to be careful with. They're so sneaky, and so your journalistic, chops, let him go. But I
have the hard hitting question.
I didn't answer the question. I'm going to answer it, even though you haven't asked it for me. How am I doing? Well, I'm not making any money. I'm making like, a tiny bit of what I was making, before March 12th.
Yeah.
But I am doing recordings, and I'm busy every day practicing, trying to do what I do, and it's unemployment helps. It's too bad we lost the $600, as we all know, in the arts. I have, not to get political, but this is a safe place to do that. It was really upsetting to hear some people say, people are being discouraged to go to work because of the $600 and blah, blah, blah in their income, a week. And I'm like, I am begging to go back to work. I would love to be able to go back to work. But in the meantime, before I am able to make a living, I sure appreciated the extra security. That is what it's called, unemployment insurance, for a very special time. So it's interesting, Seth. I'm not losing hope, even though it may sound a little, I'm very positive. I'm an upbeat kind of a guy. I will be okay. Knock on beautiful old wood. The businesses will come back. Concerts will come back. Actually, can I tell you, I have a concert coming up September 5th.
With masks?
With masks on and everything. I'm very excited. I am up in Sheffield, Massachusetts right now. So this will be the third concert that I do. One was June 19th for the Broadway, Actors Fund, the collaboration between the Musicians Union and the hospitals in the city of New York. I played my 1 hour concert at noon. I'm sure you heard about these concerts going on. It was really fun. I did another private concert for a donor of an organization that I play with, and they wanted to hear the Bach Chaconne. So I went and played the Bach Chaconne for them. It was really great. And this is my third concert. It's a fundraiser in Sheffield, Massachusetts. If you want to learn more about it, go to Christ Trinity Church, which is the church in Massachusetts. And it's a string quartet concert, basically, on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. To raise funds for the needy and the poor and the hungry here in the Southern Berkshires. So it's a really wonderful thing, because we're going to play a concert of Mozart and Beethoven and whatever great composers, and they're going to hear music. Christ Trinity Church in Massachusetts. Yes, go look for the info there. But so things are starting to happen, Seth.
Slowly, girl, slowly.
I may have some Jewish holiday work, that kind of thing, but it's very little. It's very little.
Well, Jorge, you're reminding me of, if you haven't gone to, for anyone watching, haven't gone to starsinthehouse.com and clicked on the action alert, it still is not too late to do
what
that.
Is the action alert?
And the action alert is basically Americans for the Arts has made it really simple to contact your senator and your congressional representative to say include the arts in the next stimulus bill, because just because it didn't pass, before the Senate went to recess in the middle of all this, it will come back, and we want to make sure that those letters keep coming, and they do make a difference.
Yeah,
and they are read, and
they're tabulated.
And they're tabulated, and so far the Americans for the Arts, their their lobbying has been so tremendous that literally every single congressional district in the country has gone to their website to create a letter to be sent to their congressional representative. So that's really important. And obviously the pandemic unemployment is part of that. So Jorge, you go to it.
I will. Thank you, James. I've signed as many petitions and as many, obviously the local 802 sent a whole bunch of them, moveon.org, and I get like 10 emails a day from all kinds of people from moveon.org, and it's fantastic. They're telling me to sign this, I sign it. But I will do this as well, James.
Get the arts in it.
Yeah.
So Joe, we're asking everyone how they make money. You've had this crazy double career because I don't know Joe as an usher. I know Joe because he was literally kitty cat. He was literally my editor. He published I have it right here. He published my very first book,
The Q Guide to Broadway.
Q Guide to Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Broadway Nights.
Yeah, he published my second book, Broadway Nights, with an introduction by Audrey McDonald. So,
wow.
And he's a really good editor. By the way, I never knew what an editor did until I had one. Like, basically, I wrote a book, which I thought was amazing. And then he was like, here's how to make it better. But it wasn't like the kind of, when you're devastated, I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Like, he really, really helped me. So you've got this whole side career in the literature side. Are you able to do that during the pandemic?
I am. I've been doing a lot with my books.
Your own books.
I've done, you've interviewed me for the Jimmy McSwain series.
Me's.
Yes. And here's number 6, Fresh Kill.
It's about a gay guy that lives Midtown. I mean,
it's a gay private eye who grew up in Hell's Kitchen, and his mother is the head usher at a Broadway theater.
See, they are old women. I told you.
And so there's now 6 books in the series. They're all print, ebook, and audio now.
When do the movies come out?
With audio. And number 7 comes out in January. But my new project, can I be shameless?
Yes.
And I know you're a dog person.
We have 4 of them.
Well, this is my dog's book.
Oh,
Angel. What's it called?
It's called The Shadow Diaries. We rescued him in December of 2018.
Hey,
he's a black lab greyhound mix. He's beautiful. And I started, like, the first weekend we got him, I wrote a little thing on Facebook on my page, but from his point of view. And it got a good response. So I did it again. I ended up doing it for an entire year.
Wow.
So there's actually 53 entries. My publisher, who does the Jimmy McSwain books, agreed to do the book. It's a gift book size, 8x8 square, fully illustrated with all the photos. And it's sweet and funny and heartfelt and inspiring. And it has a lot of Broadway stuff in it.
Is it your name, by the way? Because someone's saying, where can I get them? Is it your Joe Pittman or is it your pseudo literature name?
No, it's under my name. It's at Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's the cutest book in the world, written by the cutest dog in the world.
Well,
I know and it's National Dog Day, so
I know I've been posting my angels.
So it's really sweet, and I wrote it while I was working at King Kong. So
this show,
there we go. So there were parallels between our Beast and the Broadway's Beast. Because, like, my husband is an elementary art school teacher, so he'd leave during the day, and I would leave for theater at night. So we would overlap for like 15 minutes before we had to go to work. And so there's a lot of jokes in the book about how Daddy Joe, or DJ as I broke it down into, had to go play with that monkey.
I mean, this giant nightmare.
Oh my God. It was so much fun.
He's so big.
I have a question for everyone. What and Stephen, I don't know if I know this answer, and I've known you for so long. I'd love to know how all of you got into it, and I'm assuming that there was a love for theater there. So how did that start? Like, David, why Broadway? Why theater? Why not something else?
Why dealing with the horrible public?
Not horrible public.
1950 something, the original cast recording of Sound of Music I got as a Christmas gift from my parents, along with the music. No, it wasn't the Music Man. What was the second show? Oh, My Fair Lady. And then my best friend, his mother took us to see the national tour of She Loves Me, Apple Tree.
Oh.
And I was kind of smitten. And
that was it? And you became obsessed?
Yeah, I totally obsessed. Like, when I was thinking about this the other day, when I was much younger, I would read, because I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and I would get, as soon as the cast album would come out, I would get the album and I would like read whatever was on there, and I somehow memorized. I mean, I knew who the principal actors were and the stars and whatnot, but I was obsessed with the ensemble, the chorus people, and I just kind of followed them from show to show based on the cast recordings. And then when I would go and see the shows at the Fisher Theater, those people that were on tour, but the original cast, I knew exactly what show. Like John Mineo, he had been in this show and this show and this show. I was that total theater geek.
So, David, did you know then at a young age, I'm going to move to New York, I'm going to somehow be involved in theater? Like, when?
Yeah, I remember that the first national broadcast of the Tony Awards, which was Apple Tree Cabaret, and didn't miss a one until I got here. And then through some fate of luck, used to be able to go to the invited dress rehearsals back when Alex Cohn and his wife were doing. Hildy were doing them. Yeah, it was amazing. I was that awful, horrible little theater geek guy.
Not horrible at all.
Hold on.
Well, no, I shouldn't say horrible. No, not horrible at all. But that's based on something completely different. Yeah, no, I totally obsessed.
But David, hold on. If you've been to that many Tony, how many Tony rehearsals have you been to? Would you say?
And those early, when I got here in 1980, so I think I started in 82 to 80, because then I kind of graduated from going to the dress rehearsals to being a seat filler. And I think the last time I was a seat filler was 90. When was Sunset at the Minskoff?
94.
94. Yeah, and then I started going either as somebody's guest or either I was working on shows and they invited us to go.
I was just going to ask you what
theaters.
I was going to ask you if you had a favorite moment, because if you've been to that many, I was just curious. That moment that was behind the scenes.
Moment. Sunset was pretty special.
At the Tony Awards?
Well, it was like I saw that when they were in Los Angeles. I was visiting a friend, so I saw them in their out of town tryout. But I was obsessed with that set. At the beginning when the set comes down. Yeah.
That was at the Tonys. He's saying, like, what moment at the Tonys was the standout?
Or the rehearsal.
Not that crazy.
Or the rehearsal. Well, back then, gosh. What was?
There were only 2 Best Musical nominees that year.
Yeah, let's go back to it would have been like my second or third, and it was were we at the Hellinger? Oh God, I can't remember. I'm old. It's gone.
All right, if it comes back to you,
I'll text you at some point.
Okay. David, were you there when Angela Lansbury and B. Arthur did Bosom Buddies in 1986?
Almost. No, not quite. No, actually, what was that? That was
the year of Les Mis in Rags, when they replicated it.
Yes, I think I was there for that. Yeah. But at the dress rehearsals, those stars didn't necessarily.
I was at that dress rehearsal. It was the only one I was ever at, and they performed it.
Did they?
Yes, I was there with my sister Nancy, and it was amazing.
Maybe I was there. If that was at the Hellinger, I was there.
I will get back to you. Stephen Spadaro, you've dealt with so many divas in your life. We've got to hear some diva story. That's
I can't tell any diva stories. No, because they were all wonderful.
All right. First of all, I want to say I was a seat filler once at the Tony Awards, and right before the actual broadcast, the opening number was that year, Seth, you did it with them, Patti LuPone, Betty Buckley. I got to sit in like the 5th row for that, and that was amazing.
Wait a minute, Stephen.
That's amazing, Stephen. That's a great story.
I wrote that number, and I was like in the 20th row of the 3rd balcony.
I was a seat filler. I think I sat in Ken Billington's seat, maybe.
That is rude.
Right before the show started, it was an amazing night. Yeah,
it was, but I couldn't see anything. All right, so talk about now. I know you've dealt with some very nice divas. For instance, here, let me see if I have any photos. Oh, like perhaps you and the wonderful Cheetah Rivera. So that's fabulous.
You guys know how special she is.
We love her, but we need to hear the stories about, because Stephen has the most calming voice, and he can calm any diva no matter how annoying. So talk to us. Give us a story.
All right. So Fran Weisler was producing an event for Hillary Clinton on Broadway when she turned 50 years old. And Bill Clinton was still president at the time. And she called us all into her office. She said, I want to do this benefit. And I want, if you guys are interested, I'd love for you to volunteer. So I did. I volunteered for the day. And, it's typical of those one-day one-offs. You rehearse in the afternoon, you do your sound check, and then you come back and do the show that night. So Elaine Stritch was on the program that night, and she was about an hour late for her rehearsal that afternoon. So Sherry Cohn, who's the stage manager, many of you might know her, she said she positioned me at the stage door, and she said, when Elaine shows up, please bring her to me so we can get her into the rehearsal, so on. So I'm waiting outside the theater. This was at the Lyric Theater, where it used to be, what was it called at that time?
The Ford Center?
The Ford Center, the Hilton.
Ford Center, the Hilton, right. All those names, right. So she pulls up in her car service car, and she's got the window rolled down, and I can hear her yelling at the driver, I want you here at 9:00, right here, right where you're dropping me, and you better not be late. She was, she's being very stern with the man. So I bring her inside, cut to the end of the show that night. She does Ladies Who Lunch, brings the house down as usual. She's standing, the show is over, I've been released. She's standing outside the stage waiting for her car service, but President Clinton is still in the building, and they've shut down the whole street. So there's no cars coming up that street to pick Elaine Stritch up. So I saw that, and I thought, someone's going to get in trouble tomorrow if I don't help her. So I said, let me go into the stage door, call the car service, find out what's going on. She comes in a few stuff is out here. I said, well, let's get all your stuff and bring it in here while we make contact with the car service. So I go out to the sidewalk, and she's got about 7 shopping bags, and I picked them all up except one. I missed one string, and it tips over, and it's got her milk in it. And I thought, why do you have milk? But anyway, so she starts yelling at me. Now everyone is leaving the theater. She's yelling at me, not like that. What's wrong with you? And I channeled Tom Hanks from League of Their Own. I was like, there's no yelling. There's not going to be any yelling here. And I took her inside.
That's a famous quote.
There's no yelling. It's not going to be any. I'm trying to help you.
Wow.
So I find out where the car is. It's on 42nd Street. We walk through the theater to meet the car, and she hooks her arm in mine, and she says, now tell me, what's your name? And she said, why don't you come and have a bite to eat with me? So she befriended me, and we went in her stretch limousine. We went to Orso. We had dinner. Her assistant joined us. We had dinner, and at the end of the dinner, she hands me a hair and makeup receipt from Bergdorf's. She said, here, give this to Fran.
Did you pay for dinner, or did you have to pay for your dinner?
Wow. No, I think she gave me the dinner tab, too.
Oh, okay.
Give it a Fran. By the way, I'm echoing. So, Jorge, I want to talk to you for a second, because I know. Wait, who's echoing? Is that Stephen? Hold on. Stephen, I'm muting you because you're echoing. So, Jorge, I know that you emigrated here from Honduras. I met you basically kind of right after, because we used to live in the same building. And then you got when did you get your actual green card?
I think it was 2000. Oh, wait a minute. The green card, I'm sorry, green card was like 98 or 99.
And then you became a citizen when?
5 years later, I'll never forget, July 3rd of 2003, which meant I couldn't vote in 2000. I was so upset about that. But I voted in 2004, and I voted ever since. So
James and I used to do these partisan concerts called Concert for America, and one of the great organizations we supported was the National Immigration Law Center, and we had Jorge come and talk about, basically there weren't any opportunities to be violinist in Honduras, or at least the level that we had here, and why it was so important to have talented people like him come to America. And I have a little clip of you playing with me, a little summertime song.
oh my.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's beautiful.
Best pianist in town, I tell you, the best pianist.
Not really. I made some clams, but thank you. By the way, Steven Spadaro, your story was a hit with Rena Saltzman. That is a perfect. And I'm putting you on mute because you're echoing. Now then, David, give me an example of some crazy audience that you had to deal with. Did you have to carry somebody out, or somebody famous?
During Bernadette's run in Annie Get Your Gun, there was a woman like in the fourth row center. Her friend came out and said, I think my friend is sick. So we went down, and sure enough, the woman had passed out. So I went back to the sound booth, and I called the stage manager, and I said, we're going to have to stop the show at the next song, at the end of the next song. We did that. We got EMS, and we got them down. It was all very quick. And the woman was completely like out, and they couldn't move her. If you've been in the marquee, it's like all these steps, and it's kind of like not it's horrible, but they were working on her, and they were trying to get her to revive at her seat. And then we finally got her out, and this woman, like 2 rows behind, said, when is this going to be over? I got a bus to catch, I got to get out of here. And they're just sometimes not completely feeling. She couldn't care less that the woman, we thought she was dead. And then we had another woman, it was during the revival.
By the way, David, was the rude woman her?
No, that's an angel. That's an angel.
Oh, you were so nice to my mom.
Yes.
Such a sweetheart. No, but during the revival of Lacage, we had this woman. She came out at intermission, and she had, imagine she was like maybe 5'4", maybe not too tall, not too short. And
right.
she had a what are tutus made out of? Is that tulle? Yeah, tulle. So she had it like a tutu and a bustier, and she had platform rainbow sneakers on. And she came up and she said, "Excuse me," and always it's like, "Are you the manager?" And I said, "Yes. How may I help you?" And she said, "I just, I'm just a good girl. I'm just, I'm from the South, and I just didn't know. And I'm so sorry." And then she started to get like really upset, and she's like crying, and she said, "I just didn't know. I didn't know what this was about, and I didn't know it was about those kind of people." And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking. I said, and then I realized that she had no idea what she came to see. She didn't know what the show was about. And I said, "Well, why don't you come with me to my office?" And I left my associate at the door and said, "If we're late, just handle the end of intermission." I took her back, and she's just crying. And she says, "I'm not." And I gave her like a box of Kleenex, and the tears are flowing. She says, "I'm not that kind of person. I'm just a good Southern girl, and I just didn't know." And I said, "So what did you think you were coming to see? I mean, you didn't know what it was about?" And she said, "No, I thought it was the Folies Bergère. I thought it was just going to be women. I didn't know it was men being women." And I just, you don't know quite how to process that, but I did. It was like I just kind of kicked in. I said, "No, I'm so sorry. Come back tomorrow. We'll get you a refund. I'm, you know, I completely understand. We would get a lot of that. We had one group during Millie that the usher came and said, David, there's a gentleman who wants to see you. And he was this group leader. He had a group of like college or high school students. And you could tell when they came in because the girls were all in gowns and the boys were all dressed up, you know, like they were going to prom with like boutonnieres and stuff like that. And they were from some place in the far Midwest. And he said, you know, I had no idea the subject matter of the show. And it's just, I can't, this was during the middle of the first act. He says, I don't know what the parents will say. So, and like, I go out and then we're like out and the kids are all in front, you know, at the marquee, it's the glass wall. And then there's the hotel lobby and they're all outside. And I said, oh, well, may I ask what was offensive? And it was that Miss Dorothy, that Bun Fu had a crush on Miss Dorothy. And that was just completely unacceptable.
Wait, because it was an Asian character liking a white woman?
Uh-huh. And so I said, oh, he said, is there something else we can see? You know, I want a refund. And I said, well, you know, the show has started. The box office is closed. You will have to go back to, you know, the group agent, whoever you purchased your tickets from. And he said, well, can you recommend any other shows for us while we're here this weekend? And I said,
Rent, Chicago Fall.
No, I said, and I'm thinking, and I said, Aida. And he said, oh, no.
Oh!
I said, and I thought, well, and then cheeky in my head, I'm thinking like, well, Beauty and the Beast, that's like complete, because that had moved across the street to the line at that point. And I thought, well, that's, you know, bestiality, so that's wrong. And I was like running out of options. And he said, what about this Chicago show? And I just thought, maybe that's for you. I mean, I was like, good luck.
Wow. Stephen, do you remember having to do any refunds around that time?
You know, I have to say, the house manager at the Schubert Theater used to tell me that people, that was soon after they opened, and, you know, there was a picture of Caitlin Carter sitting in a split on a chair, and they would come out and say, oh, this is offensive. It's like, did you not just walk past that huge picture of the woman with her legs? It's like,
that's what Sharon's for. All right, David Calhoun, you told James that you were thinking about us recently. Why was that?
Because when he texted me last night, I was fixing dinner in the kitchen and I had the 70s channel on Pandora and Sky High came on. And that was another show where one woman came in one matinee and she said, oh my gosh. And she was, I can say this now, but she looked like she was a little older. She looked like she was old. Not a little older, but she looked like she had gray hair, and I don't know if she had a cane or not, but she was, and she said, this is my music. You know, I grew up with this, and I just kind of went, oh my God, this is my music. Do I look that old?
David! Hey, I brought you this video because you like the song. This is the recording session into the show.
You've blown it all sky high by telling me a lie without a reason or why. You've blown it all sky high. You've blown it all sky high by telling me a lie without a reason why. You've blown it all sky
I wish we could have kept that running.
Oh, we loved it. Except for
because Motown only ran for 3 weeks.
I know. We had to leave because Motown came in and they lasted a solid 3 weeks. We'll discuss it privately. All right, Jorge Avila, before we go, we want to hear something live. The comments you've been getting, by the way, from the Porgy and Bess, Jorge's playing is so unbelievably gorgeous, and he's a mensch.
Oh,
my heart. Everybody loves you. So what are you going to haul out for us? Nothing offensive.
Okay, nothing offensive. Clearly, I want to tell Steven before I leave that one of the shows I play on Broadway currently before was Chicago, and I just love playing that show so much. I love Amra Faye. I love the whole cast. Charlotte when she's there, and I have to meet you when I go there next time. I'll figure out a way to find you. Would you like classical or would you like Broadway-ish? What do you want?
Whatever you want to show off with, whatever your heart feels.
Okay, whatever my heart feels. Every time I've played with you, I seem to play some sort of Gershwin. So I thought, is this a good? Am I in frame? I'm gonna play a little Gershwin for you because why not? If you don't know the song, it's called "Embraceable You."
Jorge, first of all, you were brave enough to, I can't believe you were brave enough to the octaves at the end, and then the harmonic, you still got it.
Well, thank you. I thought I'd give it a little Hollywood, Broadway, whatever. Just
I love it.
Said. I miss you though. It's way better playing with you.
Thanks. Well, one day we'll be able to be in the same room again.
Oh.
All right, so in conclusion, so wait, by the way, I forgot to read, we got such nice stuff. I'll just read quickly the donation.
Yeah, go.
Cheryl from Pennsylvania, $30. This is the fourth time giving. Wow. This was a great idea. So interesting to see these theater jobs. Thank you, Seth and James. This show has kept me sane over the last months. Thank you everybody for donating. Starsandhouse.com. So we're gonna have more people come back and talk about more of their jobs and about how they do with crazy people. Get Joseph's new book, Joe Pittman's new book. Get David Calhoun a job. Get Steven Spadaro. Yeah, exactly. We all need a gig, man. Thank you all for being here, and I'll play some exit music.
All right.
Thank you.
He joined us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you. Thank you so much. Yeah, baby.
My God.